welcome to Help Desk with Joe. This is show number 141, and we're back after a little bit of a hiatus. And with me, as always, Justin.
Morning.
And Joe.
Morning, guys.
It's been a little while, boys.
Yeah, gonna have to dust the microphones off and see if we still know how to do this.
Well, the computer, the power kicked off at some point, and the computer was off, and getting it started back up and working again has been a little bit of a chore. But everything's fired up and moving, I think.
But for some reason, I don't think the quality of the show is going to improve any.
A little bit of a break, and not only are we not rusty, but we have not improved.
Yes.
You're welcome. But it's good to be back. So we got a lot of interesting things going on here at PAPS. Our summer programs are in full swing. We have Willing University physical therapy doctorate students here this week, which is always exciting. We appreciate Rhonda and Willing University for coming down and spending a week with us, doing some service learning projects. We just had our first pickleball tournament last night.
Yeah, Justin was filling me in on that.
Trevor, Ward, and Parker, and Marie, and Justin have all put this pickleball tournament together, and pretty cool stuff here for the city of Spencer.
Yep, surprisingly good turnout. Didn't know there's so many pickleballers out there in Spencer.
Yeah, we're not messing around.
Yeah.
But, many thanks to the city of Spencer for helping out with that as well. So pretty cool stuff going on here in the community. The library's in full swing with all their activities. The school's doing their summer soul programs. So lots of stuff for kids to get involved in here this summer in Spencer. And of course, we got this wonderful podcast. It's podcast day.
Right.
So, yeah. All right, so Joe, start us off. I mean, it's been a while. Get your voice ready. Did you do your voice warm up stuff?
Yeah, I screamed at a couple drivers on my way in, so I'm good.
Traffic was rough in Spencer today. But, so you got some good stuff. We're going to talk about iOS, which I've never heard you put it that way before, I don't think.
Yeah, I always just refer to it as Apple. But
so
the headline's what got me.
Good old Apple back in the news. And,
yes.
For all you Apple's users out there, you're welcome.
Yes. So Dave, get your phone ready. You're going to be sending some text messages
out to my buddies that still use Apple that I make fun of on a regular basis?
Yes.
All right, I like it.
iOS 16.5.1a is a new update that's being released, and you should update your phone ASAP. The update patches an issue that may have been actively exploited.
Oh boy.
So Apple said a rapid security response update patches a vulnerability in WebKit. And if you're not familiar with WebKit, I wasn't really familiar with it, so a lot of people aren't. But that's the programming language that powers Safari and other third-party browsers inside of iOS.
So what update is it?
It's System Update 16.5.1a. The vulnerability may lead to arbitrary code execution, which could allow a third party to steal your data or hack your device for other nefarious purposes, according to the IT services company Okta. So basically, there's an exploit in this software that something bad could happen to your phone, where bad guys can get in there, steal your data, or just take complete control of your phone and wreak havoc with it.
16.5.1a.
Yes.
Okay. I just sent it out to the few people that I know that I worry about and make fun of.
Yeah, they don't get that for free. There is a cost.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
Wonder how long this vulnerability has been there, or how quickly they found it.
Well, they're keeping kind of a tight lip on it, so I don't know. I wasn't able to track down a definitive time period on either question.
But it's hard to tell. This could have been hidden hard for a little while, and they're just like, all right, now we got to release it.
Yes, before somebody else lets the cat out of the bag.
Yeah. Gosh, that's always scary stuff. I mean, we live and die by our phones now because there's so much important information on there.
Right.
And, it's scary stuff. So, yeah, keep your updates current. I used to hate when my phone updated, but now I'm kind of like, all right, yeah. Please do. There's always little changes and stuff, and I'm always worried that something will misfire, but better to have the security updates than not.
Right. Dave, I'm proud of you.
That's, I've had a month off of this show, so I tried to be a little introspective and learn something.
Well, there you go.
That's not true at all.
It sounds good.
The ball just happened to bounce my way.
You was playing the cards you just dealt, you just happen to have 5 aces in your
hand.
hand.
There you go. Yeah. So. Well, gosh, what kind of, how, this seems to be fairly often because I know it's been probably, oh, something just happened with the stream.
Uh-oh.
I don't think it's the Facebook part of it, maybe. But anyway, they can still, well, I think we still have audio. But,
I will say that it's still recording OBS.
yeah.
It should be good.
But, so it's still, like, happens frequently, update, to help solve these problems with Apple.
Right.
I don't really hear that as much from Android. Is that right? Or is the Android just automatic updates and they don't say anything because it's automatic?
Well, I think Apple's just kind of on the defense here lately, and I don't know why.
Yeah, I mean, because they could do automatic updates, right? They can push them out like Android
Well,
does.
yeah, they do, but here's what's really weird is Apple tells you that they have automatic updates, and Apple tells you that they'll install them automatically in the background. But for like the last few months, and I can't put an exact number on, I can't remember right off, I've had customers contact me and say, hey, this and this is going on, and I go, check your updates.
Yeah.
And the first answer, well, mine does it automatically.
Yeah.
Humor me and check it, and then I'll text back, there is an update.
Yeah.
And they run it, and they text me, and then they'll message me later, like, oh yeah, it's fixed now.
That's exactly the conversation I had with my soccer buddy. Because we had a show.
Yeah.
And when we first started that, I was like, hey, check, and you should probably update your phone. Like, oh, it's automatic.
Yeah.
It's like, do you care to just check?
Yeah.
Same conversation.
Yeah.
He checked, he updated, and he's like, man, I didn't realize it'd do that. I thought it'd be automatic. I was like, I know you paid extra, and it's not automatic. I don't know. But I was just messing with him. So
Right.
then after that, he's like, hey, if you hear a wind of it, you let me know. And I just did, and he just thanked me, and he's updating.
Yeah.
But it's kind of crazy that, like, my Android will pester me to update. Like, it constantly says you're connected to the internet, do an update now,
Right.
and it'll give me an option to delay or continue.
Right.
So, but I don't know. I never.
No, I was
I
sitting
take
in
that for granted.
sitting in this very seat with a iPhone at one point and had to hear it through Joe.
Yeah.
There's an important
Yeah.
update due immediately, and I was like, what? I didn't hear about this, or get a notification on my phone or
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
It just kind of
Word of mouth.
Yeah, just kind of sitting there quietly in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This seems like at least like the second or third one of these like install now sort of things with Apple, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
serious vulnerability,
Yeah.
update immediately sort of thing.
Yeah, it's one of those, I really can't, as much fun as I get out of poking fun at Apple,
Yeah.
I really can't, give them too much grief unless like we find out that this has been a vulnerability that they've known about for 3 years or something
Yeah.
silly
Right,
like
right.
that. So I mean, hats off to them for actually staying on top of things and.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of crazy. I mean, I don't know. You
I think
think
you-
it'd be automatic?
You
but-
said before, Joe, well, maybe it's not still the case, but there were just so many more iPhones in the world that was a better target for nefarious characters trying to hack stuff.
Yeah, yeah. When Android first started coming out, Apple had such a dominant stronghold on it, but now it's basically leveled off to 50-50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's not one over the other as far as targets go.
Well, I still like that they pay more to not get automatic updates.
Yeah.
And I still like how they pay more to get old features.
Technology.
Yeah, yeah,
That's always a gas tank.
New old features.
yes.
Poor Apple users. Oh boy.
Yeah.
But anyway, all right. Well, if you have an Apple phone or iPad or anything like that you've paid too much money for to not get automatic updates, make sure you go in your updates 16.5.1a and do that update immediately.
Yes,
Yeah, save Joe some trouble. I'll save you a call to Joe later.
absolutely.
You
And
can,
any panicked call at that.
yeah, you can feel good about yourself and be like, yeah, I went in and manually updated my iPhone. Good thing I paid more for it. Give yourself a pat on the back and be like, job done.
There you go.
Oh, it's too easy.
It's like a little hanging fruit. It's like it's right there.
Yeah, oh gosh, yeah. So it's good to be back.
Yes.
Way to start off the show with an Apple update. Nice. Anyway, all right. Well, moving on to the next story.
Pokemon.
Yeah, that a very unusual one. I don't know that we've ever talked about Pokemon.
I don't know if we had it.
Been a long time ago.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
So tell me how Pokemon is in the technology news.
Well, this one is an interesting one. This is why I grabbed this one, because I figured it would stir an interesting conversation between the three of us.
Okay.
So Pokemon reveals that they are going to launch a sleep tracking app.
What? How?
Okay.
What?
So the Pokemon Company revealed on last Thursday a new trailer for Pokemon Sleep, an app teased since 2019 that allow users to track their nightly rest. The Japanese gaming company announced that registration is now open on Google Play App Store for the game, a term being used loosely in this case. Registering ahead of time will allow users to be notified when the app launches sometime at the end of the month. The app resembles a standard sleep tracker with the addition of adorable little Pokemon creatures, from the iconic Pikachu to the floating Jigglypuff. However, the main resident of the island where the adventure takes place is, surprise, surprise, the large and lethargic bluish oaf known as Snorlax. Players will work with Professor, who is studying sleeping habits, and other Pokemon as they fill out a sleep-style dex, a play on the popular Pokedex, according people that are familiar with the game. To increase the likelihood of discovering rare sleeping styles, players can feed Snorlax berries and other food by day to increase its strength, but sleep is crucial. As more user snoozes, the higher Snorlax's drowsy power becomes, which in turn attracts more Pokemon to the island. Using the app is as simple as placing it by your pillow and drifting off to sleep. Developers advise that users keep their phones plugged into a charger all night and place the device face down. Upon waking, the app categorizes the user's sleep into three types: dozing, snooping, and slumbering, which will attract Pokemon whose sleep patterns match. So
what in the world, Joe?
Well, here's where I
have so many issues.
Okay, well, that's why I knew it would spark some good conversation. So let's hear them.
All right, one, you shouldn't be that close to your phone plugged in charging because it gives off a radiation pattern, I believe, or they used to. Like, that used to be a big thing, is not to
right.
have your phone charging within 3 feet of you. And then two, having your phone beside your head at night. Wow. I want to sleep good. Let me place the phone beside my head so it'll beep and receive notifications and blah, blah, blah. And then three, your phone through Pokemon app is listening to you.
Well, it's a sleep tracker, and there are all kinds of other sleep tracking apps.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't use any of them if it requires your phone to be beside you all night.
Right.
Just because I assume the microphone has to be on.
Yeah, because you can set it up to record your
Yeah.
sleep, and if you're snoring or any other noises you make
but
during
I just
the night.
mean, you know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
opening that door for your phone to have insight and to record everything around you.
Right.
Okay, that's the three just off the top of my head. Justin, what do you got?
Brilliant, I think.
Brian!
Yeah, when you're just ticking off the different little features, you know.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, the whole setup of they're doing sleep studies and Snorlax, pretty cool. I like it. But I do take your point about listening to you. I didn't really catch that in the description, that it has to listen to you or anything, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're giving permission for it to listen to you all the time.
Yeah. While you sleep.
For a Pokemon fan, though, they'd probably love this.
Yeah, so here's...
Yeah, Joe, what's your favorite Pokemon character?
Well, I wasn't going that path. I was going... Here's one positive thing I can take out of this.
Right.
Let's say you have, whether it's a kid or adult, that's a huge Pokemon fan.
Yeah.
And, you know, the issue is now that people are on their phones way too much anyway.
Yeah.
And kids are bad about staying up half the night on their phones.
Oh, yeah.
So this may encourage them to sleep because they have to have their phone away from them.
If they want to get more Pokemon to come to their little island or whatever.
I thought they had to have it close to them.
Well, they
Face down, but close to them.
They do, but they're not sitting there on it.
Yeah, I don't know. From what my experiences have been, turn your phone off, put it away from you to get better sleep.
Right.
Just because the natural inclination, anytime it beeps, buzzes, vibrates, or whatever lights up, If it's near you, you're gonna check it.
Right, but the incentive is if I pick that phone up, then that's going to interfere with my Pokemon progress.
Yeah, I understand. I just think the natural inclination for kids especially is to have their phone beside them, and anytime it beeps, buzzes, or even if it doesn't beep or buzz it, they're in a habit of just picking it up and looking just to see.
Right. That's why this app it's intrigued me. I would love to see like a 3-month study on this to see like the habits of users on their phones at night before this app and then after this app, because this one's there's plenty of other sleep apps out there. I mean, that's not a well-kept secret, but this one's a little different. Like there's an incentive for you to stay off your phone.
Yeah, I mean, I could see if you wanted to wear a watch.
Yeah.
Not have it connected to your phone, but wear a watch to where it would track your sleep, but yet not need to have access to your phone at that time.
Right.
I don't know. I know it's a neat idea with the Pokemon kind of incorporating it into a game, but man,
Right.
There are other ways.
Is this going to be a paid thing or free? Do you know? Doesn't say.
It doesn't say, so
that's a
I'm
good question.
I'm going to assume it's free, but that's just pure assumption on my part.
Pokemon. By golly. So what's your favorite character, Joe? How many cards do you have?
I don't have. Sadie has cards.
Yeah.
She's gotten into it,
Nice.
but she doesn't have a lot because it's one of those things. They're good for a few minutes, but you can't do anything with them outside. So
Have you ever done the game where you go with your phone and do something? You find Pokemon outside?
Pokemon Go.
Okay.
I did try that a few years ago. I actually had it on my phone, and we actually played it during the pandemic.
How does that work? Because I'll tell you a little story. We were in Elizabethtown for soccer,
Mm-hmm.
and we went out to go for a jog on a public trail.
Yeah.
And some cat rolls up in a minivan, jumps out, starts walking around, and then he turns around and looks at us, and we're putting on our running shoes at this point. And I just thought, it's kind of weird.
Right.
He wasn't dressed to go for a jog or anything.
Right.
And he's like, "Hey, are you doing Pokemon?" And we were like, "No." Okay, jumped back in his van and took off.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like, if it was malfunctioning or he was trying to give us a tip or a hint. I don't know, because I don't know how that works. But I was just like, what in the world?
Well, we did because there was nothing else better to do, so we just drove around town and let Sadie try to catch Pokemon. So the incentive is it's kind of almost a fitness tracker. Like
Right.
you can walk around downtown Spencer and like hit the landmarks like the post office, Heritage Park, and like you can get free stuff. But then you can walk along and like you can scare up actual Pokemon and try to catch them. And then if you catch them, like you can go to like these virtual Pokemon arenas, like they're just like parking lots, like Walmart or whatever. Like the Pokemon game has designated spots
Yeah.
where like you can go and battle other people's Pokemon that you have trained or whatever. But it's used more for a fitness app because like you can catch eggs, and you have to get in so many steps before like the egg will hatch.
Really?
Yeah.
How? Yeah, I didn't know what the guy was doing. Like, how do you catch a Pokemon?
Well, like so you can either buy them or like you go to what they call the little Pokestops, like the post office, Heritage
Right.
Park, and you can get free Pokeballs, and then you got to throw balls at these animals and try to catch them.
Okay.
Like you try to hit them with the ball to catch them.
And does it use your camera on your phone and then like overlay a
It's
Pokemon?
Yeah, it's like
augmented reality sort of
Yes,
thing?
yeah. It
Okay.
uses augmented reality, which is pretty cool. Like we standing there and just looking at Heritage Park Community Building, all of a sudden there's a Pokemon on the front porch of the train depot.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what the guy was doing, but
Oh well, there's some people like hardcore.
yeah, I don't know if he's trying to battle one, catch one, or what.
Yeah, because I remember when the game first came out, there was a news story like there was a rare one that showed up on some interstate somewhere and it caused like a huge wreck. People kept trying to lock it up in the middle of the road.
Really?
Yeah, because people was literally driving around
Yeah.
looking for them.
You guys are just standing there. Some guy jumps out of a van, asks you if you want to battle. You're like, what?
Yeah. Well, he
No.
just, it was weird because he walked down to the, like the sign, looked at the map, turned around a little bit and was, trying to figure something out, obviously. We were just putting on our shoes and I was like, what's this cat doing? 'Cause he didn't pull off the road. He just was parked in the middle of the road.
Yeah.
So he wasn't there for very long.
Yeah. So
And then he turned around and was like, hey, you're doing Pokemon. I'm like, no.
he was trying to catch David, hit David in the head with a dodgeball. And
Something was going on. I'm like, what the heck? All right, anyway. So Pokemon.
Yes.
I forget what the original story was.
Pokemon
but-
Sleep.
Sleep app.
Sleep app, yeah, there you go. If you have trouble sleeping, try that baby out.
Yeah.
If you
Yes.
like Pokemon.
So, I mean, I got to give the Pokemon company credit. At least they're doing something that trying to benefit health. That the Pokemon Go was a huge hit with exercise,
Yeah.
and now they're trying to.
Attack sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I turn your phone off and put it away from you and go to sleep. That's what I say.
True.
Disconnect. Anyway, Threads. I don't know what that means, but that's our third story. So what is Threads?
Threads is very interesting. So Threads is Facebook's version of Twitter. So Twitter has been under a lot of issues as of late, the last few years,
Yeah.
for just being nonsensical knuckleheads, and then Elon Musk buys it, and that's a whole other story for another day. So Meta, the company that owns Facebook and Instagram, goes, hey, I got an idea. That same intern made his way to Meta. But I think he actually did something right this time.
Threads.
So Meta has created a new app called Threads. And if you haven't heard of it, it's less than a week old and is already it's catching on very quickly. So Meta launched a Twitter rival last Wednesday called Threads, and it's billed as a share ideas and trends with text app, and it's available on iOS and Android. And so Threads is essentially a text-based version of Instagram. You log in with your Instagram account, it uses your Instagram username, and you can follow the same people you already follow on your Instagram account. You can also customize your profile for Threads. Posts can be up to 500 characters long and can include links, photos, and videos up to 5 minutes in length. Piggybacking on Instagram, which has more than 2 billion monthly active users, could help Thread gain traction. In Facebook tradition, Instagram frequently introduces features pioneered by other social media platforms. So as of yesterday, let me get an updated count this morning. Threads had over 100 million downloads. I think Thread, as of yesterday, was like over half a billion downloads.
So, I don't know enough about it.
Okay.
What's the distinction between Threads and Instagram?
Instagram is more taking selfies, posting pictures, that sort of thing. Threads is more text based.
Okay.
So I downloaded Threads and created an account for a radio show, and I tell you, in my opinion, it's like TikTok meets Twitter.
Really?
Yeah, like it's not this garbage heap like Twitter has turned into. You literally go in there and you get you get posts from people you follow, but then like you get other interesting posts like Slim Jim. We all know who Slim Jim is, the company.
Okay, snap into a Slim Jim.
Yeah. They made a post as like, hey, like our post and we'll follow you. I liked it and now I gained it. Yeah, Slim Jim's following us. And it's really, to me, it's kind of refreshing because Twitter is just this garbage heap of trying to push certain things on you, and Threads, it's like it almost somebody made a thread and it was it said it's almost like you're opening just these big group chats, and it's the way it looks. It's very clean, it's very simple, very easy to handle. But apparently Twitter has caught wind of it and doesn't like it very well, to the point there are threats of them suing Meta over this because they're copying Twitter's platform. I'm like, no, this is a little different, but it's nice. It's just, to me, comparing it to Twitter, it's nice. They're not pushing an agenda on you. It's literally people you follow and similar content that you can just jump in on the conversation about.
Okay.
Pretty wild. So is it comforting for you? I guess what makes me a little nervous is that Meta now has Facebook, they have Instagram.
Yeah.
And now they're going to have a mock, a version of Twitter.
Right.
Is it, as a technology guy, Joe, does that make sense to you, or is that too many eggs in one basket?
If they can do it right, I'm all for it. And considering what Twitter has done in the last few years, you knew it was coming. I was a little surprised that Meta was actually going to jump into this space.
Yeah.
I'm even more shocked they got it right.
Huh.
Because the way they've handled Facebook and Instagram, I was shocked like this took off as well as it has, and so many people have just jumped into it very quickly, and it's kind of nice. There's no hashtags or anything weird like that. It's just
The next question is, Twitter's the OG. Do you think people will leave it, considering it has that heritage and that tradition of being Twitter?
I think so, and here's why. People have been screaming we want a Twitter alternative for a while, and for Elon Musk to say, hey, we're going to sue Meta, and it's less than a week old, there must be something somewhere that
traction.
Yeah, that somebody's taking up notice, because any other time they go, oh, that's nice, good luck with that kid, but now they're going, they're getting serious very quickly, and we're talking less than a week, so there must be something going on in the background. So if you need another social media platform in your life, check out Threads.
Wow, it's kind of crazy. They have topics, and one of them's like preparing for the election, and their approach to it, and combating misinformation.
It's come up that Twitter had like a bot problem at one point. I wonder if that'll plague Threads as well.
Well, I can tell Threads already has had some bot accounts already show up, because literally I created our LOL account, and literally as soon as I clicked sign up, I had 2 followers. I'm like, oh, wait, there's no way. like
Me and Dave.
Yeah.
I was like, say, I'm stalking you, Joe.
The account was literally 2 seconds old, and we have 2 followers. We're not that popular.
Misinformation on climate change.
Yeah.
By golly. How can you have misinformation on that? It's here, baby. Let me tell you. I was in St. Louis a couple weeks ago. It was 98 degrees. Turf was 135.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did supposedly a world record for like averaged across the globe the hottest day ever. It's like the day before the 4th or something like that.
That had to have been the day I was in St.
Yeah.
Louis, because it was smoking hot.
Yeah.
It's like, I hate Missouri. It's flat, it's hot, this is terrible. Anyway. Alright, well, Threads, a new avenue for social media. If you didn't have enough in your life, you can get on Threads, stay on it all night, and use Pokemon to get some good sleep.
There you go.
Yeah. Oof.
But are they going to run into the same deal where it's like, what do you allow people to, what are the
That's what I was
guidelines?
thinking about. It has topics, company news,
Are there things you can't say on
data
Threads?
privacy, safety and expression, combating misinformation.
Well, one interesting thing I did find out with Threads, which I think may help kind of police itself, is as Threads doesn't let you delete posts after you made them.
Really?
Yeah, so if you make a dumb post today,
You gotta write it out.
yeah, you gotta write it out. And unless you delete your entire account, that's literally the only way you can get rid of it, which means once you delete your account, you lose all your followers and all that. So I think with that logic, that may help cut down on the knuckleheadedness. Hopefully.
All right. New development.
All right.
Breaking news.
Yeah. Interesting stuff. Well, Joe, that leads us to your Joe tip of the week. What's this week going to involve?
Well, since today and tomorrow
Oh,
is
boy.
the 2 days of bad financial decisions, aka Amazon Prime Day.
Amazon Prime. Here we go. Have you
Let's
been
check
looking
this
at
out.
stuff, Joe? That's always my favorite question. Is what you're shopping for.
Not yet, because I fired it up this morning and it's like, no, if you start, you're not going to like get anything done, and you just have to cancel the show. So I haven't like dove into the Prime deals yet. I'm kind of scared because I know I will spend money.
Ooh,
So,
it says Prime Day right on the front page of the deal.
So I'm going to talk about what I like to call Prime Day protection.
Okay.
So protecting yourself from possible scams or issues revolving around Prime Day, because Walmart's doing their version, Best Buy's doing their version. A lot of stores are doing their version of Prime Day. So here's some tips to protect you from this Prime Day shopping madness. Some of the scam emails, one of the things that you may run into is you may get a scam email or text message saying, hey, there's been an issue with your order, please click this link or call this number.
Oh, I didn't even think about people taking advantage of you on Prime Day.
Yeah, so Prime membership has been, or you may get an email saying there's a billing issue with your Prime membership and update your account, or your account has been frozen. All of them are designed to steal credit card numbers or Amazon account username and passwords. On top of that, a company called Checkpoint, their researchers also spotted 1,500 new Amazon-related domains, the vast majority of which appeared to be potentially malicious or scammy.
Wow.
So, like Amazon. I'm going to steal your information.com or something like that, and you go to it and it looks like an actual Amazon website. Meanwhile, Amazon itself pointed out a variety of scam emails and text messages reported to a security team that looked like shipping notifications, order confirmations, and account problems. And impersonation scams where cyber criminals snooker customers by pretending to be legitimate companies are on the rise and don't just involve Amazon. According to the FTC, these kinds of crimes cost American consumers $660 million last year, up from $453 million in 2021 and $196 million the year before that. So here are some tips to protect yourself from Prime Day. First of all, double check the website that you're on. Make sure it says Amazon.com, not Amazon.IStoleYourInformation.com or anything goofy like that. That's the first thing. And double check for misspellings, because they're really sneaky. Like they'll do something simple as add an extra N on it or an extra Z on Amazon, and where if you just glance at it, you may not catch it. So pay close attention to that. I had a very similar issue to this about a month ago. I had an email claiming to be Greenbrier County Schools, and they wanted $20,000 worth of computers.
Wow.
Yeah, and it said that this guy said he worked for the school board, blah blah blah. Well, first thing I did, I started investigating. I checked the email account, and I was like, well, that email account's not right, because I know what all regular state teachers' email accounts are, and that's not anywhere near it. So, and then I looked and was like, okay, the one person or the guy he's claiming to be, okay, that guy is like a science teacher. He doesn't work in the board office. He's not not in the IT department. That was another red flag. And third of all, he said I needed to submit the information to his supervisor. Well, that supervisor doesn't even exist.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I called the Greenbrier County Schools and I talked to their IT department. I'm like, hey, just a heads up, this is going on in case anything shady in case somebody calls. Here's what's going on. They're like, oh yeah, we just got a call about that last week from somebody else. I said, really? She's like, yeah. I said, well, here's what they're saying. They're claiming to be you all. She said, well, now the one we got last week, somebody added an extra R to Greenbrier. And I went and looked and was like, that's the same one. I completely missed that second R in Greenbrier.
I was gonna say, I'm spelling challenged, so I probably wouldn't even notice.
Yes, and it was like, I was like, well, I did my homework, so I did my due diligence. But it's just like, something simple as adding an extra R completely I didn't even catch that. So so pay close attention on the domain
Double
names.
check everything and take your time and look through it good.
Right.
I would never even think to look for that.
Well, that's new one thing to check to add to your arsenal.
Yeah.
So for Amazon purchases, if you get anywhere emails about an order or a text message, don't click the links. Go straight to the Amazon website, the app, and stores. Anywhere that you normally do your Amazon shopping, you do it on the website, go straight to Amazon.com and check your order status. If you use the Amazon app, go straight to the app. Don't click any of these links for you that will quote unquote help you with your order. And Dave's one of Dave's faithful for using two-factor authentication.
Hey.
Use a good password and two-factor authentication. And for those of you that may not know what two-factor authentication is, this is an extra layer of security. So then if for some reason your account gets hacked or so your password gets leaked, they still have to have that second layer of security to get into your account. So it's always good to have two-factor authentication and a hard-to-crack password that you're not sharing across several websites. And next up, treat urgency with suspicion. Yes, a lot of Prime Day deals are limited time, but any offer that says you need to buy right away needs a closer look. Cyber criminals are banking on you clicking before you think.
Yeah.
And look for the lock. Any legitimate retail site uses SSL encryption. By now, it's signified by a lock symbol at the start where you type in your URL address. Like if you type in google.com, it's usually right there at the left of it. So look for the lock. Make sure there's a lock. And use a credit card. If fraudulent charges show up, you won't be on the hook for the cost. So if you have a choice between a debit card and a credit card, always use the credit card. And keep your personal information personal. Retailers do not need to know your social security number, birthday, or any other unchangeable personal details. If they ask for them, say no. Amazon could care less what your social security number is. All they want is your money. So if somebody says, hey, we need your social security number, no, they don't. You don't need a social security number for me to make bad financial decisions. I can do that on my own, thank you. Report scam messages. Most email programs have buttons that let you report spam or phishing. Scam text messages can be reported by forwarding to 7726, which spells out spam, which I didn't know that was a thing. So if you get a scam text message, you can report it to the number 7726.
Huh.
And last but certainly,
you just text that number, what the other number is that
and probably the text message.
spammed you?
Yeah.
Send a screenshot or something? Or?
Probably. That's what I would try, yeah. And last but most certainly not least, if it's too good to be true, it probably is. Amazon's going to have some amazing deals, but they're not going to have a Nintendo Switch for $10. I'm sorry. They're not going to have a $15 PlayStation 5. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So just use your brains a little bit.
All right.
So that concludes my
Use your brains just a little. That's always good advice.
yeah.
Regardless of the tip of the week.
Yeah.
I struggle with that one, by the way, but it's nice to hear it every once in a while.
You're in
Good reminder.
Good reminder.
You're in good company. I'll just put it that way.
Well, that's a great tip of the week, Joe. That's one of the things I really enjoy about this show is the fact that you're out here giving consumers and I would say even business people good advice on what to do and what to know about technology and how it changes. Sometimes on a weekly basis. We just had a couple weeks off there, but in general.
Right.
And I always enjoy the holiday tip of the week too, just because people forget.
Oh yeah.
But this was a good one. I agree with all the things that you're talking about as far as protecting yourself. And man, you just never know, like an extra R in Greenbrier. What in the world?
Yeah.
Who would catch that?
Right.
Tricky. But hey, that's how it works. They're tricky, so be aware and use your brain just a little bit.
Exactly. Well, case in point, if it's too good to be true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would never turn down a sale that big, but yeah, somebody just random out of the blue wanted to buy $20,000 worth of equipment that I've never heard of. That's kind of a red flag.
Okay. Well, anything else we need to go over? We've covered iOS and the newest update to 16.5.1.1A. Make sure you got that updated in all your Apple products. We talked about
The Pokemon Sleeping app
Pokemon Sleeping app. My goodness.
and Threads.
And Threads, the new Twitter battle.
Competitor, yes.
Yeah, competitor. There we go. What do you think? So you think people will switch to Threads and Twitter will go down the tubes?
They won't go down the tubes, but they'll take a hit. They'll have to actually start cleaning up their act.
Yeah.
Okay. This is
a little competition spurs some advancement.
Yes. This is going to make things interesting for a little bit.
If I'm Joe on Threads and following.
Yes.
I am not on Threads. Justin, will you be on Threads?
No, I don't think so. I've never been able to get into Twitter, so I don't think I'll do the Instagram.
Yeah, I have very
version.
little interest in Twitter.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know. I'm sure I have a Twitter account, but I don't know what it is. Can't remember the last time I checked it or had anything to do with it, so yeah. Huh. It's interesting. Okay. Well, if anybody needs to get a hold of you, Joe, if they want to order $20,000 in computers, how do they call you?
You can give us a call at our office at 304-927-3588. Check out our website at amdigitaltech.com. Be sure to follow us on social media. We're on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram at amdigitaltech for all that. And be sure to subscribe to the podcast, Help Desk with Joe and Dave. We're on all the major platforms, and all of our episodes are hosted by Spotify Podcasts.
Okay, Justin, that number again?
3588. It's been a while.
Been a little while.
Yeah.
You got it though. Okay, so once again, you know, we got a busy week here at Patch. We've had a busy summer, so we're glad to get back into the swing of things and get the podcast back up and running. Keep in mind, A&M Digital Technologies, one of our community businesses here, shop local, and also powering everything behind Patch, including this podcast, along with all our computer stuff. And Joe, you just had to refurb a couple computers for us to put back in the working order.
Yes.
So, you know, one of the things we really appreciate, Joe can make a computer last longer than what is reasonably feasible, but, you know, bloody brilliant.
I don't like to do it, but sometimes I have to.
So keeping everything running smooth behind the scenes here at Patch, so we really appreciate it. If you need anything technology related, and sometimes not, if you need anything at all, just call Joe.
Yeah. If you need some bad financial advice, I'm right here.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you need someone just to check on your sleeping Pokemon app, call Joe. No, I'm joking. Kinda. But anyway, it's good times, good to be back, and so everybody have a good rest of your summer. It's almost over. My gosh, we're in July already. So we had a good July 4th. Now the heat's revving up, and we get focused back towards school starting up here in another month or so. Oh boy, and summer's upon us. So everybody, thank you, and have a good week. We'll be back next week. For myself, Joe, and Justin, we're out today.